Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast with Dylan and Akram, where we discuss what's hot in entertainment. And Stranger Things is definitely at the top of that list right now. Episodes 8 and 9 are now out on Netflix. What a finale! I'm speechless by that last episode. So, without further ado, let's get into our review. Akram, how did you feel about part two?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. It definitely. I think it. We were speaking earlier. Probably is the longest like TV episode or at least
In
streaming
history, yeah,
episode.
it's like the last episode was like
Long.
2+ hours long. It's like a whole movie.
Yeah, it was. And you know what though? It felt like it. It was so like well done, and it really had me shook. I keep saying that for a lot of shows, but this one really had me shook. Like there's so much shit that happened that I did not expect. And I can't wait for season 5. Like it closed some like loose ends, but at the same time too, it opened doors. And it
Literally.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally. So tell us what you thought about it.
Yeah, it was I think it was a banger finale. I mean, they pulled all the stops for this one episode. I mean, it felt for me just a little dragged out. I feel like they could have cut it down maybe to 3 episodes.
Mhm.
But you feel differently about that. You prefer that it was longer. But for the most part I thought it was okay. I thought like a lot of the cast did a great job. There was a lot of great like heart throbbing scenes for me. Like I almost like cried. Um, and just like the action and the story like really came to a great climax at the end.
Mhm.
So how did or what did you take away from this season? What were the biggest moments for you?
Oh, where to begin? There were so many. Obviously, the climax of season 4, part 2. But I'd say, I think Eddie was like a huge standout for me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. It's spoiler review, so I guess if we're getting right into it, Eddie doesn't make it. We all thought it was Steve. I thought it was going to be Steve, and I also thought it was going to be Lucas. Eddie goes, but he has an awesome guitar solo, which is pretty metal, if you ask
Pretty
me.
metal.
Yeah, but I think also Elle, she got a power up, kind of like a RPG. She got a power up, and in a way, she's really terrifying. You know, is she stronger than Vecna? Probably no. Um, and there's some stuff that I did not understand too, especially like the Vecna stuff. How strong is this guy? So, yeah, but what were your highlights?
For me, yeah, I would definitely say 11's story really came through. I think like of all the groups, I really enjoyed like the Steve, Nancy, and
Mm.
the younger kids group. Like there's so many groups in this show like coming together, and I feel like they have such like better like communication than say like the Umbrella Academy. Like they really like
Yeah,
they actually like plan their stuff out, like what's their next steps.
right.
So it's really cool to like see them like strategize like what's their next move and stuff. Even though they're so disconnected this season because they're literally like miles away from each other.
Yeah,
Um,
in 1980.
but yeah, I wonder like what's the because I was confused too about the Vecna thing because they explored more of his origin in this part two. So basically, like when L sent him to the Upside Down, he was kind of just like this nomad roaming the Upside Down, and it was completely different from what we see now.
Yeah,
It's like it was like this barren wasteland. It didn't have like the houses and stuff.
it's wild.
So he's basically like just like a pilgrim there, and then
Yeah.
he sees the mind flayer, which is kind of like the hive mind thing. So I was confused because they keep saying like he's the one responsible for everything, but I thought he was just like the mind flayer's like servant or something. So they're implying that he actually like took control of the mind flayer, like and like used that as his power. So I'm
Mm.
a little confused about that. But what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think so I think the Upside Down resembled this type of hell, this twisted version of Hawkins, but in fact, it's actually more so like a different, obviously like a different dimension. We saw the base dimension when Vecna arrived, and it just had like some Demogorgons like crawling around there. I guess they eat each other. I mean, you see the Mind Flare. Um, it it kind of reminds me of this type of energy. Whether it's like something that has to do with like a bigger entity at play, or it's just like this type of animal. Um, One could consider it to be kind of like in Loki. What was the bear called? I forgot what was the bear called. Remember that it just eats everything or something like
Oh,
that.
Azeroth or something? Or, like, that big
Something like
cloud
that.
thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was thinking like at first it was basically docile, and then so the mind flare kind of perverted this docile creature that's formed out of energy, and he created something. So it wasn't, I from how I see perceived it, it wasn't like uh the mind flare from the get-go. It was basically Vecna turned it into the mind flare because he went like this with his hand, and then it resembled the shape of the mind flare. And that was always Vecna's vision since he was a child. He always drew like something. He's a visionary, right? He wants to show L how the world that he wants to create will look like, right? So that's how I took it. And I think basically all of the creatures in Upside Down are that, just basically creatures, just animals. Um,
I think it could go both ways, to be honest with you, because
yeah.
I feel like the Mind Flayer could also be using Vecna's power, as, like, a weapon too. Because I think, like, the Mind Flayer because it's also an intelligent creature too, it
Mm,
probably has, like it probably, like, knows, like, what's going on around it, and it's probably using, I guess, like, Henry before, he became Vecna. Unless they have maybe, like, a partnership or something, but yeah, it was like, I agree with what you said too, like, it could be, like, he's like, Vecna's, like, manipulating it too with his power, because we saw how, like, strong, like, L was against, like, the Demogorgon and stuff, so, like, seeing their powers, like, they're probably, like, stronger than any of the creatures in the Upside Down, so I wouldn't be surprised if, like, he's using that world to, like and it's like, it goes both ways too, because it's like the Mind Flayer is, like, enhancing his power too, because like, he's grown, like, stronger a little bit, and he's become, like, this monster creature, where it's like he can, like, invade minds and stuff. But he was a great villain, like, I wonder,
oh yeah.
what they're gonna do for next season. Like, if
I,
he's gonna get stronger, or is he, is he gonna be, like, less, I guess, like, humanoid? Or, like, does he become, does he trans? Because he said, like, he wants to transcend beyond, like, his human form. So maybe,
right.
like, he turns in, like, this, like, creature that can, like, dissipate and shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for sure he's going to like become more symbiotic with the mind flare. And I think his powers are gonna get an upgrade. But that part doesn't make sense because he's severely injured, like by the end of this. Um, that doesn't make sense. So like, does anger fuel him? Is that like a thing? Like everything's like caused by L? Is it just like this thing with fate that this just so happens to be like his fuel? Um, is that the final step for him to like really take over? So I don't know. That part didn't make too much sense.
And they implied a lot of stuff with Will too, because Will can sense his presence.
Still, yeah.
So even though, like, Will was cured, I think in season 2, he still
Right.
can, it's basically like a force sensitive thing or something, like, he can, like, sense his presence around, so I wonder if, like, Vecna will be using, like, Will too as, like, a vessel maybe into their world. But speaking of Will too, I
Yeah.
wanna talk to you because we had some thoughts about it.
Yeah, yeah.
There's been a lot of talk going around, that Will, might have a gay sexual orientation, or at
Right.
least that it's heavily implied. But
Right.
it was definitely, like, giving strong vibes in that beginning scene, so what did you think about it?
It was too strong, dude. At first, I was like, I was thinking about it. I was like, "Damn, am I really like shipping Will and Mike right now?" I was thinking about it. I was like, "Damn." I was
Well, because it
like,
was so emotional when he was talking to Mike, and he was, like, crying about it too, and it's I don't know if, like, he has feelings for Mike, but, like, he was
I
talking
think
too
so.
about,
Yeah.
how you shouldn't, like, let people go and stuff, and, like, he's kinda like the heart of the group. And then,
Yeah.
like, that conversation between, Will and Jonathan too, like, that's such,
Yeah.
like, a big brother talk, like, when he said, "I love you, like, no matter what." Like, that's, like, something you say to, like, comfort or, like, feel like your, a gay, relative, like, feel more comfortable, I guess.
Yeah, it's implied. For sure, really. I mean, it's kind of on the nose. Like he's gay. Like it's on the nose, like, but I think they're trying to hide it because of society or something like that, especially in those times. So maybe that makes sense why they're not really like forward about it. But at the same time, too, it's like, well, you guys are by
Well, he gave a
yourselves.
lot of implications in the first half, like when that one girl, I think, like tapped his foot or something, and he like retreated or something. And also because they have Robin too, so I'm like, and she's pretty like, well, I guess not open, but more, her character is more open about her sexuality
Yeah,
than I
she's
guess
trying.
Will. So I wonder why they wouldn't be like more forward about it.
Yeah, I think post traumatic stress probably from being down there. He is kind of odd. He does behave like oddly. It's like he kind of like is this sensitive person, this frightened person. And he expresses himself through art, but sometimes his art like reveals something true. And this time that painting was revealed that yeah, he is basically knights fighting this dragon or whatever, and it's like the cast of the kids there, but Mike was like in the forefront, which I was surprised Elle wasn't really there. It was just Mike. um
She she like Will like takes all the pictures of like Mike and Ellen like tears like Ella's picture. It's so
yeah,
stupid.
yeah, yeah.
He puts his own picture out
Well,
there.
maybe. Well, it's just nothing really popped up in the past.
Mhm.
I'm for it, but I feel sad for him too because it's like everybody has this type of relationship with each other, the group. And honestly, I felt sad for Steve, which I wanted to ask how you feel about like Steve.
I want
Um,
Steve to have a happy ending at the end of the
but with who though? That's what I'm
That's
wondering
the
because
question, yeah,
there
like
seems to be a little love triangle, or at least there will be a little bit later on.
mhm,
Um, which
between, like, Nancy, Jonathan,
I
and
don't feel good
Steve.
about it though, man. I don't like cheaters, but like at the same time too, if she breaks up with him, like I feel kind of bad. Like, oh, let me go back to Steve like fast. It makes me feel
Right.
kind of. It just feels weird. I don't know, man. I
Well, that
feel
there was obviously tension already between, Jonathan and Nancy because they were trying to figure out, like, what their, like, future situation is too, and then I think, because they spent so much time apart, I guess, like, she kinda, like, warmed up to Steve a little bit because Jonathan wasn't there too.
it makes me feel bad though.
Yeah,
That's
it makes me
fucked
feel
up.
bad,
That's
but at the
fucked
same time,
up.
like, I feel like, because Steve also, like, talked about, like, how he wanted, like, a family and, like, he wanted to, like, have a family with Nancy basically in his, like, dreams and stuff. So I felt bad because, like, he's so evolved since season 1.
Mm,
He's literally, like, one of my favorite characters, like, on the show, like, just, like, his development
right.
from, like, the past, 4 seasons, just seeing him, like, transform into, like, this unlikable character to, like, now he's, like, leading the group basically. Um, but at the same time, like Jonathan, I feel like there's no reason to leave Jonathan too, right? Because he's so mature. Like, I mean, like he's a stoner now, but like that, he still has a good heart too. So I
Yeah,
don't
he's
really know
sweet.
why. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't really see like a reason to like leave him for like Steve.
I I would say, like, it comes down to it where, like, she's trying to pick somebody that kind of matches what she wants to do in the future, whereas Jonathan kinda seems like he wants to drop some things, and so that part makes me even more sad, like, I kinda feel betrayed a little bit, but if I put my grown-up shoes on, like,
Wouldn't it
it's
be
her
crazy if
life,
like she ends
whatever.
up with Robin? Like after all that,
Oh. Oh.
it's like an Avatar like Korra situation.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. That's gonna make me, like, freak out. I'm like, "Ah, I don't know how to
Well, Robin
feel."
too. Yeah, Robin too kind of like has a happy ending or like a beginning of a happy ending too.
Yeah.
Like that one girl, like she was trying to like impress, but then she found out she had a boyfriend. That was like such a touching moment toward the end, where like this girl is so much like her, like she
Mhm.
doesn't like her words uh speak faster than what she can think.
Mhm.
So it's like she's like looking into herself basically, and I thought that
Right.
was a sweet moment because it's like she's finally like mastered like her ability to like communicate with people, and now she can like finally start putting her emotions into words. So I thought that was a sweet moment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like where this is going. I just feel like there are certain characters that's, like, very lonely, and I think really the most saddest one is probably, Will. Will, right? Yeah, Will. I got a feeling he's gonna die, man. I just something about, like, the brother speak I thought he was gonna
Mhm.
die too. Like, there were so many people who I thought was gonna die.
Well, I really thought, yeah, like you said, like Steve was gonna die because like they built him so like certain characters, like when they build them up to like their highest potential, that's when they usually kill them off.
Right.
But this show, I feel like has a tendency to like kill off like new characters, like like when they killed Bob, and then Billy
Right.
also. So I feel like Eddie, like I didn't want Eddie to die, but like I had a strong feeling like they were gonna like at least like he made like a noble sacrifice. Like at the end, like he finally like found his courage. And I think like also like he did that for like Chrissy too. Um,
Yeah, which
so
is
it was
sweet.
sweet. But the biggest thing also was like Max. We gotta talk about Max because she
She
like
got demolished first and foremost. Max got fucked up. I was like, "Holy shit, there's no respect for this lady."
justice for Max.
Whole yeah, just she got like that was another form of violation. That was so crazy what happened to her. It was so violent. It was just I didn't know what to think. So tell me what you thought about that, or give us like the little rundown of like what happened with her.
Well, basically, like, so she okay, so well, they found out in the part 1, right, how to escape Vecna was, like,
Right.
you put the headphones on, you listen to your music, and then, like, basically, like, Vecna feeds on, like, your dark your darker moments in life, but
Mm.
she's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna pick the best moments of my life, and when he tries to, get into my mind, I'm gonna escape to, like, the happy moments." So this whole, like this part 2 was basically, like, the Steve and Nancy group, like, they were trying to like bait Vecna with Max, and then that's when they were gonna go in the upside down and kill Vecna. Um, but yeah, it was crazy like what happened to her because like certain shows like you feel like the kids are safe, especially
Mhm.
like so many times where like Vecna could have killed Max, but then she like gets saved like the last minute. But at the end, like I really thought like she was a goner because like she was so close to like death, and then like her, like, bones started snapping and shit. I thought she was dead,
Yeah.
like, I was like, "Holy shit!" Because like, I guess it had to equal out, because like, since Eddie died, because it would've felt weird, like, if nobody died in a
Mhm.
season, like, as pessimistic as that sounds, like, I feel like you have to have a stake sometimes in a show,
Yeah.
like, where somebody has to die, like, in order to make, like, the plot move forward, because otherwise it's not believable.
Mm.
So I feel like Eddie and Max weren't the safest characters like in this show. So I really thought that she was gonna end up dying from Vecna, but Elle comes through at the last minute and she does this weird thing. I don't know how you felt about it, but like at the last second, she like stops her from dying. I don't know how she did that, but that could also attribute to like what you were saying earlier, like how she got like a power upgrade too. But yeah, what did you feel about that?
Well, I would have thought, yeah, it's kind of like the tropey kind of thing, or like, she came in clutch and it was kind of fake. But, she's in a coma though, anyways. So, like, in a way, this whole season, like, everybody lost, like, Vecna prevailed and he possibly, like, is even more powerful now. And they even said that in the cabin, like, she's not used to losing or something. And so, um, Max I don't wanna say she's completely empty-minded to make her sound dumb, but she's, like, in a coma and
Well,
Elle.
that
Yeah.
could be an interesting plot point for next season. It's like trying to get Max's like consciousness back. Like maybe Elle has
Yeah.
to like go into her mind and like piece like kind of like a Charles Xavier thing. Like she has to go into her mind and like piece together like what's left of her. Like that
Eith
could be like an interesting point.
Either that or she becomes the villain. Like, either that or, like, somehow Vecna, like, makes her into this type of zombie-ish character, or, like, the mind flare is absorbed into Max, so now you have 2 people running around. So instead of, like, it being symbiotic with Vecna, well, Vecna is the storm, whereas the mind flare is this boots on the ground type of
Hmm.
agent that the mind flare kind of always, like, tried to emulate, like, in the previous seasons. But, like, the mind flare is even more powerful. So, like, has telekinesis, like telekinetic
Hmm.
powers or something. I could see that happening. It's even more of a tragedy, like fighting your own like family. I could kind of see it. I feel sad about it. If they tried to like reach for her memories again, it already
Hmm.
happened in season 4.
Well,
So
that whole thing made make me think of like Max was like Han Solo and like Elle was like Luke
mm,
Skywalker, like saving her from like Darth Vader and stuff. It was so like that whole prom scene. Like I feel like I don't know, like they should have. I thought Max was gonna take more control of her mind and maybe fight back a little bit with Vecna. But it was kind of just like L, like just like came in clutch at the last second. Um, and then like Mike just like annoyingly like is like L, L.
He does his tongue like a goat,
Yeah.
like L.
I thought they were gonna actually like that one scene where like where like they kind of blacked out before like L
Yeah,
pushed Vecna. I thought they were gonna cut it right there
me too. Yeah.
because I thought that was gonna be like the cliffhanger. I was like, oh shit.
It's
So,
like,
but then
oh
it was
man.
kind of weird. So, like, honestly, that should have been the point where, like, because if I was gonna make it 3 episodes, that's where I would have cut it and then make the next part of that like the cliffhanger, I guess.
Probably so. I mean, then again, if you did do that, it'll be like a pretty like it's kind of like a slow type of ending. Like I get why they left it like that too. Um I get why they did that. It was strange to have like a really long episode. Like I don't mind it though. Like I thought it was super good quality. I think some things still they did linger on way too much. And it wasted a little bit of time. Like there were some elements of it where like it could have been shorter. But I would have just have released it when season 4 came out. I wouldn't have made a
Mm-hmm.
part 2. Um that was like strange to me. I guess, it's kind of like a marketing thing or like let's just do this, build more hype,
Mm-hmm.
for longer.
Because for me, that does that mean like episode or like season 5, they're gonna have like crazy long episodes too?
Oh, I don't think so. I think the last episode or last episodes will be like the same, like around like how it was here, but I think it's gonna be more episodes. Like I wouldn't say 20 because that's way too much for like a Netflix thing, but I probably would say like around 15 or 13. You know how like the Marvel Netflix stuff was, like like their own dedicated like tying up loose ends type of episodes.
Yeah,
Because
because they said season 5 was
the
is gonna be the
last.
last
Right.
season, right?
Right. And it's gonna be like a really heartfelt, or a really like dramatic season two, because this is such a beloved show. Um so
Yes,
yeah,
Netflix is bread and butter, so like they have to. Because like I could see them like even if season 5 is the last season, I guarantee you they're gonna make a spin-off series of this
for
just because it's
sure.
like it's so popular.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a I don't know, like a I don't know, Vector like gets a job at Starbucks or some shit.
He gets a job at
Or
Starbucks. Yeah, I hope so. Vecna deserves like some redemption. Like everything about
right.
redemption and stuff. Well, I think what's a great point to bring up is that again, the Upside Down is like a different dimension. So perhaps in a spinoff, either they'll try to like harvest some stuff from the Upside Down, or like they'll open up new dimensions. And also like Millie Bobby Brown, I don't know her current projects at the moment. I know she was like in the Sherlock Holmes gig, but I don't know what else she's getting into. I know everybody else is kind of like dry at the moment with like jobs.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like, well, like not only that, but like the cast is getting older. So like if you want to capture the essence of the show, you have to do it while they're all young. Because then it feels like a it thing where like once they get older, it's like okay, well now we have to treat them more like adults now. But
I
you can
think.
like see like physically like they're getting like older and like more mature now. So it's
Oh
like
yeah,
that's why I feel like they're gonna cap it at season 5 while they're still kind of like young. Just so that, or and then maybe they'll do like a jump, like a time jump where it's like I don't know 5 or 10 years into the future and they're all like adults or something.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
or maybe like all the adults are like gone by then. Oh, speaking of adults, we got to see
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah,
Hopper and Joyce, their
right.
little reunion
Yeah,
in Soviet Russia. So how
yeah.
did you feel about like that little arc?
Great. He lost a lot of weight. I didn't notice
I
that
know,
weight was
yeah.
gone, and like I didn't notice he it was like I was shocked. I was like, "Whoa, that's the first time I seen David Harbour like really like slim down like
I haven't
that."
seen him that like fit since like freaking Hellboy.
Yeah, and not even Hellboy. He was like kind of like a little bit big, like but here he was like really like slimmed down, and he got messed up too. I always felt for Joyce and Hopper. So that was nice to see. I think Yuri's hilarious. I think just like his little like I think anything he says is hilarious, honestly. It's so funny. Um
I was just thinking, like, what if like Hopper saw like Joyce and he's like, family again.
Family. Yeah, oh yeah, right? Yeah,
He got
exactly.
the
Well, it matches.
yeah, he got the what was it? I forgot the character from Black Widow where he has like the
Red
shield,
Guardian.
Red Guardian, like he has the Red Guardian shield,
Oh
and he's
shit.
fighting,
They
but he
might
has
as
that sword
well.
too.
Exactly,
Like that
yeah.
was so like the characters like in this season like felt like so kind of like caricatures of like great '80s characters
Right.
like Hopper kind of felt like this like He-Man-ish character, and then like Nancy was like fucking like Sarah Connor with that sawed
Yeah,
off shotgun. I was like, holy
right.
shit.
Yeah, 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 for sure, yeah. Although they kind of fucked up, like killing Vector. I would say Vector, Vecna, the Vector mask or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but that was a great scene in Russia. I was so like terrified, like anything that had to do with Russia, especially like going back to the prison and then with the
Yeah, because they have to
Demogorgons.
fight the Soviets and they have to fight the Demogorgon, so it's like basically it's like no man's land basically.
Yeah, it was horrifying to say the least. But I'm glad Yuri came in clutch and Yuri realized that he was being an asshole, and he actually became a hero. I was really happy to see that, you know. So
Murray with that flamethrower, like, came in clutch. I was like, "Holy shit."
Murray.
Murray. It's stupid.
Yeah, I mean it was really wonderful, honestly, and I liked how it was such like it was so in sync, like just the fight with Vecna and everybody was like fighting their own battles, and so far away, and in 1980s too, like it's harder to like have communication. That was wonderful, honestly. And what's that song? I'm running up the hill. Da, 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 da.
I think it's, I think that's what the song is called, "Running Up the Hill" by
Yeah,
Kate
okay.
Bush. Yeah.
Well, that was used again. That was used again. I was shocked. I was
That's
like,
it's a big, motif in this season.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I liked it, and then they had, like, a couple other, like, '80s, like, the Journey song,
Right.
and then that oh my god, that we talked about, like, that guitar solo from Eddie, like, I
Yeah.
thought that was such, like, a, like, "Oh, fuck" moment.
The Metallica song. That was
Yeah.
awesome. That was really cool, honest. That's why I'm still mad Eddie died, man. I'm like, he was good.
One more show, one more show.
Show. I like that was so fucked up, man. And I feel like he didn't really have to die though. Like he was why do you like lay down and like and then you don't move, you don't get up and like run. You're just like, "Oh my
Well, my thing
god."
is like Steve like got chomped on and he was fine. So
That's
like I don't
true.
know how like bad like Eddie got it, but like I was like, okay, well just fucking walk it off. I guess I don't know. I feel like I feel bad saying it, but I was like, all right, well all you got like was a bit like me. I think he could have made it out, honestly.
Seriously, they were just like, "Let's just kill him, just to kill him." 'Cause he literally those bites were so small, it was like having liposuction, like, right there on the spot. He was like, "Oh," and it's
Stupid.
like but he was bleeding through the mouth. I was like, "Damn, man." So,
And
like
that scene with his uncle made
oh,
me
yeah, that was
fucking
sad.
cry, dude, with Dustin.
Yeah, the performances in this season or this part alone were so great. Everybody was so emotional. It was very scary.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
how
it
did you
was
feel
so good.
about the Papa scene? Because like Brenner, he kind we talked
Yeah.
about this earlier. Like he kind of redeemed himself, but I feel like he didn't really redeem himself. Like he did like so many unethical like things to Elle. Like I felt like even towards the end, like when he was trying to save her, I feel like he still was like using her as like a tool.
Mm,
That's why I like the comparisons like between like Owens and Brenner, because like they're like they're like two different dads basically. Like how do we like parent this child that has like extraordinary abilities, and like Sam kind of takes like the more empathetic approach, and then like Brenner's kind of like the more logistical or like the more like cold hearted approach. But yeah, how did you feel that scene?
well, I honestly think without his, like, forced teachings and stuff like that, I think she wouldn't have been as strong. It kinda reminds me of, like, the whole thing we're reviewing The Boys, by the way, guys. Kinda reminds me of, like, that dynamic, where that type of relationship can turn you into a monster, or could kind of, like, reveal something. So, in a way, she's basically like Lenny, but, like, as if Lenny has, like, superpowers.
Hmm.
And, that's just life, that's how it happens. So
Yeah, it's kind of like unnecessary evil, like to unlock her powers.
sorta, yeah, and is it justified? I don't know. I think hard questions make a show last longer because you'll keep asking yourself that question for, like, years to come, and, in a way, he thought that by releasing her collar, even if it wasn't such a big deal, like, it was kind of like a show of, like, "Please forgive me," or,
It's
like,
like an
"Just
olive
go."
branch, basically.
Right, exactly, and sometimes when you have, like, a bad parent and they're on their deathbed, sometimes, there's nothing you can do. You could either have this grudge for the rest of your life, but it'll eat at you, or you kind of forgive him, but she chose to not say anything. So, I think in a way too, it shows how strong she is, to not forgive, it shows how traumatized she is. Um, and now she has a power up too. So like I feel like she's just a strong well, soon to be woman, I guess. Um, and I'm all for that. I think that's great. I think that teaches her a little bit of humility as well. All these little lessons because she's so powerful. So, what did you think about it?
I felt the apology part was just a little like too like ingenuine. Like, cause like
Mm,
he didn't really apologize. He was like, everything I've done
right,
was just to protect you. Like he didn't like notice he never said sorry. He
right.
never said like I apologize. Like he never like admitted fault. He was just like, I just want you to understand what I did. So I feel like that, like, in a way that's like his version of an apology. Especially like when you're dying and like you kind of want to leave like a lasting impression on somebody. Because I feel like deep down he really did love her.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time he kind of just saw her as like an experiment. Like he said like I've never been prouder of you. So it's like he only saw her as like this thing that just kind of like grew and evolved, but never like really saw her as like a person, right? That's why I felt like that apology like didn't like hit for me. But he was a great character. Like it wouldn't be stupid if like he came like back next season because we all thought he died in season one, and he does like a Dr. Halsey thing where it's like or like
It's like shaken.
the
Yeah.
Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be
He's
so
like bad
stupid.
again or something.
Yeah, death means nothing anymore in these shows, but
It kind of reminds me of like that Sandman scene with Peter Parker. It's
oh
like
yeah,
it's something like blah blah blah. Yeah, I only did this for my
like
daughter.
like Brenner like flies off in a cloud of sand or some
Na
shit.
na na na
Stupid.
na.
Stranger Things, No Way Home.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But
it was heartfelt like No Way Home for sure,
oh
especially
yeah,
with Max. I was like, oh,
for
that
sure.
reminded me so much of Endgame or Infinity War. Yeah,
hmm
yeah.
Yeah, there was so many like wonderful like dynamics between characters. Like even like with like team I say like team Jonathan or like
Mm,
Will and Mike and Argyle. I feel like there was like these wonderful like little moments where like they had like such like moments of like where they're bonding and they're like kind of like rediscovering their relationships with each other. Like even like Lucas and Max, like they kind of like got a little bit closer. Like I love that scene where like they were just like talking to each other with like the notes. It's like the 80s versions like texting basically. So they were like
mhm.
passing notes to each other. I thought that was sweet. Um, but yes, so I feel like we've pretty much covered all the bases for this season. So do you have any final thoughts? Any predictions for season five?
Um, yeah, so I'll just give my predictions and then you give yours and then I'll just wrap up from there. So I think um Dylan and I, like we were talking about this earlier, we kind of contrast on this prediction, but I think everyone is aware of like what's happening. Like it's kind of hard to hide it. Like I don't think it's like a natural disaster. Like I don't think that's what's on people's minds right now. Like it's on the news. Like it's hell has opened, right? And so I have a feeling all these creatures will like swarm out of these cracks, and it's just going to be like this epic season 5 where like everyone's fighting and we get to finally see like all these characters who are like in the dark, like Mike's parents or something, like actually come out and like wield guns and stuff and like
Get
actually,
involved. Yeah.
yeah. So and I think the army is going to be involved heavily, or especially the guy who locked what's his name, James or something, in the lab facility, that he was
Oh yeah,
like
did
left
did
cuffed.
Owens get out? I was so worried about
Owens.
it. I was like,
Yeah,
because they
well,
handcuffed him to the lab, and then like they just bounced. Like, is he still there? Like, is he eating or anything? I feel like to check on him, like
someone probably
for
popped
next
the
thing,
cap in his ass. Like,
or
no.
like they go back and they're like, oh shit, we gotta get Doctor Owen. And then he's there, and he's just like a skeleton, like handcuffed to the lab.
Well, yeah, that's a good question because yeah, we'll wait. We'll see like in about a year or 2 years from now when they actually announce, "Oh, season 5 is
When
coming
they're
out."
fucking like in their 20s or some shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, they better not take too long. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be like an all-out war thing. As for like the endings, who's to say? I don't know. A lot of things unexpected to happen here. But what are your predictions?
Well, firstly, my general well, let me do my predictions first. So, yeah, I agree with you. Like, I feel like it's definitely like all out war next season. They're building up to like this final confrontation between like L and Vecna and the Mind Flayer. Um, As far as, like, new characters, I can't see, like, because the cast is so huge already
Yeah.
now. It's kinda like they've I feel like saying, like, Dumbledore's army, like, they're kinda like Elle's army.
Right.
But there's so many characters now and, like, unless, like, the army, like you said, gets involved too or, like, the parents. So it's like it's kinda like, everybody now has to join this fight, um, because, I disagree with you because I feel like not everybody knows what's going on. Like they see events that are happening, but like most of the people in Hawkins, I feel like they're like too stupid to put like two and two together. Like they're kind of like figuring it out slowly, but like they don't understand, right? Because they don't understand like what these characters have gone through. So I feel like they have to like have like a moment where like they like tell everybody like what's been going on. Like they can't hide the shit from the government anymore because it's like it's
Mm.
already out. Um, and I feel like if we see like Sam Owens back, I feel like he's gonna be a part of that too. He's gonna like probably like tell everybody like the truth that's been happening like in Hawkins and stuff. Yeah, I feel like Vecna is probably gonna get a power up in season 5. Because he's probably gonna like learn from his mistakes with L, and then that's gonna maybe like who knows like maybe he can transfer himself into like bodies or something like with maybe like Will or Max. Um, So that will be interesting to see, like, maybe he can take over, like, bodies, like, now it's not just, like, Demogorgons or, like, all these, like, monsters, but now it's, like, actual, like, people. Because they kinda, teased that with the Russians, they said, like, the shadow got into them. I don't know what
Mhm.
they meant by that, but maybe it's, like, they kinda, like, they take over their bodies or something. So that could be really interesting. I still wonder what happened to the other, like, the kids that Elle met in season 2 that had powers too, because we haven't seen them for a while.
Yeah, no.
It was like her sister, I forgot
Yeah.
her name. So it'd be cool if they made a comeback and they have to join too. Like Elle, maybe she's not alone. Like she has like these other like superpowered like siblings too to help fight Vecna.
Right.
Um, and yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen between like Nancy and Steve and Jonathan. Like I have a feeling like she's kind of leaning towards Steve, but it's gonna be like a weird breakup situation for Jonathan. I feel like because they're getting older and they kind of have to like. I feel like now the stakes are so high that they can't really think about like college or like their careers. Um, but they still have like relationships, right? So they probably have to figure that out. But as for my overall thoughts on this season, I think it's the best one, honestly. Of the four because there was so many like character dynamics and like so many like great like emotional moments where like I actually like teared up a bit. I love just like the little throwbacks to like the 80s just like between like the song choices like obviously that running up that hill song has become so popular now because of that show. And just like the little like horror throwbacks too, like actually like Chrissy, I think like Chrissy, it's so funny. Chrissy's the first kill in this season, and
Mm.
in Jaws, I think the girl in the beginning's name is Chrissy too. So I think like it's a
Oh.
little throwback too. But they tease like other stuff too. Like Vecna had like a fucking like Michael Myers moment where like he
Right.
just like disappeared on the front lawn.
Right, exactly.
He wears the Michael Myers mask.
Well,
He's
yeah,
like
it was
evil dies
here.
tonight.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
um yeah, great season overall. How would you rate it?
Yeah, I would rate it honestly, I had a blast with this. I think I would give it a 10 out of 10. I
I'd give it 10 out
would.
of 10 too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, um, those are our thoughts. If you guys made it to end, we greatly appreciate it. Check out our, part 1 review. I think that was a really great episode. We had a lot of fun doing that. Currently, as of this recording, we're doing reviews for The Boys. It's going to end. And Miss Marvel.
Sadly.
Yeah, and then we have to wait like a year more plus. I
Fuck,
don't
man.
know.
This was such a great month for content.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was so much, and there's going to be even more coming out in July, and I can't wait for everyone to see what we're cooking up. I feel like Homelander when he said that in like the episode 1 or whatever to the press.
We're literally milking out content.
Right, exactly. Well, again, we love you guys. Thank you so much, and please again drop a like or just share us. And we're in a plethora of platforms, including Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and check out our social media accounts too, like fucking Instagram. Sorry,
Instagram.
I was saying IG. I'm bombing here. I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, Dylan, take us away.
Yeah, definitely follow us on social media. You can check us out. We're still expanding our podcast to greater heights, so we're
Mm.
trying to, you know, expand what our podcast is. And I think so far you guys have been so helpful in building our community. We
Mhm.
still need your support as always, so please give us a like, a share, a follow. Anything helps the channel, wherever you're listening to. And if you're listening to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please leave us a rating or a review. Tell us how we're doing. Um, but yeah, thank you so much, guys, for listening. And until then, thank you for having lunch with us.
See you guys.